Hi, everybody. Dan Illman taking a look at race number 9 at Del Mar on Saturday, the third of three graded stakes races on the card. It's the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante Stakes for two-year-old fillies. We have a full field, although it is expected that the number 3 One Fast Broad will scratch, so keep an eye out for late changes. I really liked the number 13 Fatal Beret's last race. It was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. It was obviously a very tough spot, and she was following the impressive winner Rushing Fall on the outside entering the turn, and then she really kicked it into high gear. She lost significant ground on the turn while making a bold bid. She must have been floated about 6 wide into the stretch, was still in with a chance at about the 3/16 pole, and I think that ground loss finally took its toll in the last eighth of a mile, and she flattened out a little bit. That was a pretty impressive performance for a filly that came to North America 2 starts back and was a stakes winner almost immediately. She is very, very impressive the way she is able to carry that bid through the turn. It's a rather explosive burst. She's going to have to work out a trip, though, and she drew post 13 in this race. It'll be very, very interesting to see how Mike Smith plays this from the break. Does he break and just take back to the inside and basically lose any kind of early position in the hopes of saving ground? Does he try to get forward and risk being forced wide around both turns, a similar situation to the most recent race? If she is able to get even a fairly clean trip, I think she's the best horse in this race, and you have to use her. But the outside post position does put doubt in your mind, and I think you have to consider some other options. And I think the most other logical option is the number 2. Daddy is a Legend, a recent maiden winner at Keeneland for trainer George Weaver. Now, she was supposed to win that race at Keeneland. She was the 3-5 favorite, but she was super impressive. She made this big sweeping move on the turn, took over the lead, and then just kept right on rolling along. She dominated that field late. She earned a competitive buyer speed figure, and compared to Fatal Beret, what a better post position she has in this race. Breaking from post position 2 in a race that should feature a fair pace, you have to respect the 2. Daddy is a Legend. I'd certainly use her in any kind of multiple race wagers. The 5 Raucous is a horse, though, that I might be against a little bit, and I might relegate to 3rd or 4th in trifectas and superfecta play. Raucous won the Chelsea Flower Stakes last time out for a great trainer in Christophe Clamade, but she was 41-1, and she couldn't have had a better setup where she was just able to save ground every step of the way, shot on through down towards the inside, changed back to her left lead greenly late. While it was an impressive performance, when you look at it on paper, it looks like she really exploded. I think that saving every inch of ground really helped Raucous, and I think that this is going to be a tougher field. I think if you're looking for alternatives to the 13 Fatal Beret, the 2 Daddy is a Legend, I think you should consider the 7 Ever So True, a maiden trained by Peter Miller. This is a daughter of Animal Kingdom who really didn't do much running first time out, going 6.5 furlongs on the turf, a distance that is probably too short for her. In her most recent start, they stretched her out for the first time, and this horse ran really well. She's still a little bit green when you watch her run. She's still learning how to race, but the improvement was marked from start 1 to 2. I think she's coming into her own, and she's going to be a very playable price as she takes on some legitimate stakes horses. Another one to consider in this very evenly matched race is the number 12, The Way I Am, going out for trainer Graham Motion. This horse was very well regarded for her North American debut and allowance race at Keeneland, and very much like the 7 Ever So True, she was extremely green. She showed surprising speed for a European import and got a great pace-tracking, ground-saving trip, which was only amplified when the inside opened up, turning into the stretch. She shot right on through into the lane, but I love the way she quickened. She is very green. She flashed her tail when she was struck with the whip. She changed back to her left lead. She was just hopping around the track, but you can tell by watching her run that she has a good amount of ability. The 11 Data Dependent must be respected simply because this is a Chad Brown, Javier Castellano production, and she won last time out a maiden race at Belmont. I have to admit, I wasn't really thrilled with the way she won it. She came with a wide run. It was more of a workmanlike performance than anything else, and she's going to take money based on her connections, but she is facing a pretty good group in this field. The number 4 Lexington Grace is a North American import with a lot of experience, an 11-time starter already as a 2-year-old. She goes out for Neil Drysdale, but she has not exactly faced the cream of the crop in European European racing this year. Just a smidge for Bob Maverick. Should show some speed in her turf debut. She's by Into Mischief. She certainly has enough pedigree to handle this assignment, but she's been a little bit of a disappointment thus far after winning a career debut on dirt at Del Mar while riding a speed-friendly racetrack. I think the 13 Fatale Beret is going to be very, very dangerous. She's going to have to overcome an outside post position. I would go 13, 2, 7, 12, and maybe relegate the 5 Raucous underneath in single race exotics. That ends in the Grade 3 Jimmy Durante Stakes. Race number 9 at Del Mar on Saturday is an approximate post time of 4:30 Pacific. Good luck.